This idea that we can learn something about resilience from Mo Farah. I had someone who contacted me saying, oh, that's an outrageous thing to suggest. And actually, adjacent to it, this comment here that says, this is fascinating, kind of makes me wish I'd experienced childhood trauma. I think the most important thing to emphasise is that what trauma does is it serves to shatter your sense of self. Now look, if you're a world-class runner, then you could direct a lot of that sense of being shattered into channeling your identity, into trying to become the even more focused runner that you want to be. But for most people, the impact of trauma is devastating. Some work done by a couple of American doctors in the 1990s. They did this remarkable piece. Basically, they observed that people who were returning from Vietnam were far more likely, you won't be surprised with this, far more likely to smoke and to drink. And they resolved, actually, maybe this is self-medication. Maybe these people are smoking because, you know, they want to feel better, they're drinking because they want to feel better. Adjacent to it, the other doctor, a guy called Vince Felitti, he observed, actually he stumbled upon asking his patients who were 300 pounds, 400 pounds, he stumbled into asking them whether they'd ever experienced childhood sexual abuse. And he discovered 55% of these hugely obese people had been abused as children. And so there was a recognition, so they created this list of 10 things, 10 questions that they ask people. And they say, for each of these, if you can answer yes to them, you give yourself a point. And the score you get at the end of it determines what's called your ACE score. They discovered was, if you've got an ACE score of 4, your likelihood of having addiction problems or you're having substance dependency goes up exponentially. But interestingly, if you've got an ACE score of 4, you're 33 times more likely to have educational difficulties at school. You're twice as likely to suffer, you're twice as likely to get cancer, twice as likely to suffer from heart disease. So what we're really clear is that childhood abuse actually, in these very rare cases, yes, can be directed into outstanding excellence, or at least a desperate attempt to rebuild the self. But for most people, trauma can be really devastating. People who've got an ACE score of 6 live 20 years shorter lives.